2, over Houston, Texas. Tens of thousands of eyes are fixed on a single runway. And here Captain Aimee Rebel Fiedler, one of the few female fighter pilots in the U.S. Air Force, straps into her F-16 Viper, a jet built to fight, to climb, to crush the sky at twice the speed of sound. Today, it's not going to war, it's going to show you why America calls it the Viper. And for the next 20 minutes, you're in the cockpit with her. Before an F-16 Viper ever leaves the ground, there's a ritual precise as a Swiss watch.
Green,
Rebel and her crew miss nothing. Power systems, engine, flight controls, down to the oxygen mask and the G-suit.
All right, nozzle check, avionics powering up. Copy squawk 5332.
In minutes, Rebel runs through her sequence, reviewing the flight map and demo airspace, confirming wind and visibility, every emergency scenario engine failure, electrical loss. Even an ejection must be considered before wheels ever roll. On the ground, Tony, the crew chief, signs off that the jet is safe. Inside the cockpit, Rebel moves the stick through its checks, watching each control surface respond. Avionics take 2 minutes to warm. Switch by switch, light by light, the jet comes alive, drawing her closer to takeoff. The crowd's hearts are still waiting. But for Rebel, the demo begins the instant she presses that start switch. After completing her engine and systems checks, Rebel taxis toward runway 35, out at Show Center. The crowd erupts and cheers among them. Her father, here today to watch his daughter fly the Viper demo. On the HUD, altimeter and radar symbology flicker to life. Avionics hum. Each display tested for accuracy. Rebel cross-checks her oxygen flow and G-suit inflation one final time. As she lines up at the runway threshold, the jet pauses. Crew Chief Tony stands ahead, scanning every control surface. Ailerons twitch, elevators snap, rudder swings all in perfect sync. Only when Tony raises his hand in a crisp thumbs up does Rebel advance the throttle again. This is the last breath before the storm. In seconds, the Viper will leave the Earth, and the sky above Houston will belong to Rebel. Rebel lines up on runway 35. The jet pauses. The world seems to hold its breath. Then, with a steady hand, she pushes the throttle full forward. The Pratt & Whitney F-110 explodes into afterburner. 30,000 pounds of thrust hurl the Viper down the runway. At 150 knots, Rebel pulls back. The nose lifts. The main gear leaves the pavement, and in an instant, gravity is defeated. But she doesn't climb gently. This is the Viper demo. Rebel slams the stick aft, and the F-16 rockets skyward like an arrow shot from the Earth. 8, 9, 10 Gs crush her body into the seat, the G-suit inflating around her legs and abdomen. Blood fights to stay in her brain as the Viper claws higher and higher. In less than 20 seconds, she's a mile above Houston. The crowd below sees only a silver spear piercing the clouds, the thunder of afterburner echoing across the airfield. For Rebel, this is not just a takeoff. It's a declaration that the sky belongs to the Viper. Once airborne, the Viper wastes no time. Rebel banks hard left, setting up for her first maneuver, the high Alpha Pass. The F-16 can fly impossibly slow, barely 125 knots, nose pitched high, nearly hanging in the sky. It's a living testament to fly-by-wire controls and the raw power of its engine.
Altitude, altitude, pull up, pull up.
Next comes the heart-pounding 9G turn. Rebel slams the stick. The Viper whips around in a bone-crushing arc, 9 times the force of gravity. Her body weighs over 1,000 pounds in the seat, and yet the jet responds as if it's weightless. Barrel rolls elegant, controlled chaos. Rebel rolls the Viper end over end, canopy flashing in the Texas sun. But every Viper demo has one moment that belongs not to the jet, but to the people. Rebel banks low, lining up for the dedication pass. This pass is a salute to veterans, to families, to everyone who looks up and remembers why freedom has wings. And now the moment where past and present share the same sky. This is the Heritage Flight. The mighty F-16 Viper flown by Rebel joins formation with the legendary P-51 Mustang, piloted by Jive Kirby, and the rugged A-1 Skyraider, flown by Tuna. Together, they tell a story of World War II dogfights, of Vietnam close air support, and of today's frontline air power. One
united
sky,
not by
three
technology,
eras,
but by
bound by
sacrifice
sacrifice
and
and courage. Throttle hand never stops moving. To stay tight with Jive's Mustang, I'm constantly adjusting power. The Viper wants to run away, but here, it has to dance. The Heritage Flight is not just an airshow routine. It's a salute, a flying tribute to the veterans who fought, the families who endured, and the generations who carry the legacy of freedom.
Hearts.
Different wings, one mission, the story of American air power, written across the sky.
Pyro up. Viper in for the hot pass.
Copy, you're cleared hot.
This is the climax of the show,
Altitude,
the high-speed
altitude, pull up,
pyro
pull up.
pass. Rebel slams the throttle forward, the Viper screaming low over the runway. At that exact moment, the pyro team triggers a wall of explosions. To the crowd, it looks and feels like combat fire, thunder, and a jet slicing through the chaos. But up there, Rebel is perfectly calm, riding the knife edge of speed and precision.
Hot pass complete. Pyro cold.
For just a heartbeat, time stands still. And then the crowd erupts. After nearly 20 minutes of raw power, precision, and danger, Rebel begins the most delicate part of the mission, bringing the jet home.
Gear down, 3 green.
Ral, gear down, turning base behind Tuna.
Copy, Rebel. You're clear to land runway 17. Winds off your left wing.
See you later, Rebel. Good show today.
Looking good up there, Rebel. I'll line up once you're clear.
With perfect control, Rebel flares the jet. Wheels kiss the runway, smoke curling up from the tires. The Viper slows, canopy gleaming under the Houston sun. The mission is complete. The Viper returns to Earth, but the roar, the fire, and the memory of flight will linger in the hearts of everyone who watched. From Mustang to Skyraider to Viper, 3 generations, one sky, one story. Captain Aimee Rebel Fiedler. She is not just the face of the F-16 Viper demo team. She is the embodiment of thousands of American pilots, men and women who stand watch, day and night, to keep our skies free. Behind every roar of afterburner, every perfect turn, every split-second decision, there is a human being, a daughter, a teammate, a protector. This is not just about one pilot, one team, or one jet. It is about a legacy of freedom, of sacrifice, of passing the torch from one generation to the next, from Mustang to Skyraider to Viper. F-16 Viper Demo Team, Wings over Houston 2022.